Welcome to our AM panel business cases here at Formnext 2023, here at our industry stage in Hall 11D72. Welcome here at the booth and welcome in the live stream. Yeah, this week we had already a lot of interesting business cases here on stage, and now we want to dive a little bit deeper into the topic, and we want to dive a little bit deeper in the aspect of cooperation. We always need some partners working together to get the right solution in manufacturing, and that acceptance will be there from the customer in your own company, but from your customer for sure. And we will become some insights about very special applications, which might be a starting point for the one or the other in our live stream, thinking about what can I do with additive manufacturing. And I'm very happy to have the insiders with me on stage who will share their experience with us. That will be Martin Back. He's Managing Director, CEO of BASF 3D Printing Solutions. Martin, good to have you here.
Thank you.
Jan Lührs, he's Marketing Manager of Paul Hast in Sols. Good to have you here, and you already have some products brought with you.
Thank you so much.
Useful. Thank you so much for being with us. And Rainer Gebhardt, he's AM Project Manager at VDMA, and at VDMA we have everything about cooperation. You have the insight about the companies in Germany, which are doing not only in Germany, but mainly in Germany, and which are doing business with AM, and you have contact to the classical machinery industry, so you can give us some insights here. And Florian Vandepoel, he is R&D Research and Development Engineer at Tembo TDC. Good to have you here. Nice to have you here, Florian.
Thank you.
Yeah, Martin, starting with you, BASF is known as a provider of materials. So, but when somebody heard what I told, what your company name is, then we have a hint that it's not only all about materials, it's more about solutions, I think. Give us an insight, the gap, how do you cross the gap between materials and solutions, and what solutions do you offer?
Yeah, so thank you very much, and you're absolutely right. Let me start with saying that I'm extremely proud that we can share this stage together, because this is a proof of collaboration. This new technology, in reference to the traditional methods, requires more collaboration. And BASF also has started to research on additive manufacturing a decade or so ago. And in the meanwhile, we are the largest global independent material portfolio provider, and we have a full portfolio, so we cover more than 90% of the installed base of polymer machines with our portfolio. And we do not only supply materials, but also solutions. And why do we do this? We do this because many times in this new industry, the problem is not the technical availability of a solution. The problem is how to synchronize it with the application needs of a customer. And there we need to help to enable our customers to have a low entry barrier or an easy success towards additive manufacturing. And we do that on the base of digital simulation. So nearly all of our materials, we do have a digital twin, which means that we can, let's call it, we can do a virtual crash test of a finished good that is produced on these materials.
It's a kind of simulation you're doing there.
It's a simulation on the physical properties, and this allows all kind of software-based tools in order to allow the right choice of a material or the right choice of a process. So based on that, we try to enable our customers to apply additive manufacturing as a technology and as a solution to solve their problems. But we make this easy for them, and of course based on our material portfolio.
So that's the reason why you are BASF 3D Printing Solutions. So it's an own brand within
Absolutely.
BASF, and you need other experiences, other experts. Tell us something about the people working with you, working for you, delivering these solutions or bridging the gap.
Yeah, so we are a team of about 250 people all over the world. We are globally in Europe in several countries, in the US and in Asia Pacific in 2 countries. And the range goes from chemical experts to process technologists, up to, of course, application development team and solution development managers, and of course, marketing and sales, right?
So,
That's the whole range that we have. And so when, with our scope of materials, we are capable to consult our customers in a very agnostic way. So when a customer comes to us, which many cases is many times is the case, with a problem, we can help him find the best solution for this problem, independent of a technology, because we have them all. Yeah, and this is a trusted partnership that is created through that. We don't need to consult into something. Yeah, we just can help him finding the best solution for it, and this is a value.
Right now, when you hear that, and you as an association, it's your job to organize all the companies. You want to enhance their business. So that's your goal. And what about these bridging the gap? So you have companies which are not part of VDMA, maybe VCI, the VCI, what is it called? The Chemical Industries Association, and that is BASF member. Will be BASF member. How do you gap the bridge, and how do you orchestrate all these different companies and experts that are needed?
Yeah. Thank you, Frank. We have this topic of additive manufacturing. We started within VDMA, sure, that's a Federation for Mechanical Engineering, and we have normally only these companies who build machines. But we opened for this topic, and I think it really fits to your points you mentioned, Martin, that we started this topic of AM with a called Working Group. So we integrated the companies who offer the material, who are in their jobs with the research, and also these service suppliers. They don't build the machines, but they have a deep knowledge about the processes. They know the challenges in the daily production, and they have a kind of overview for sometimes only some branches. But the experience after 10 years within this group is that it's great to bring together the experiences of the different industries, of the partners in the process chain. And we have really now a group of 200 companies, only additive manufacturing, which can work together in a way on standardization, because we need you mentioned it, a quality and industry standard to be successful. So we bring them together in working groups on this topic, the people who are responsible for this topic. On the other hand, the business has to go on, and sometimes there are branches a little bit more conservative, and to open the eyes for the possibilities which are realized, perhaps with consumer products. Our main topic for the members is surely B2B, so to develop solutions for the machines and the industrial production. But anyhow, it's so important to have this collaboration to profit from the experiences of everybody.
But we occur always the chicken egg problem, you know.
Yeah.
And how do you solve the chicken egg problem? Is your AM group in VDMA talking with other groups in VCI?
Sure. That's the point. Chicken egg problem. You are right. We really want to push additive for industrial use and for applications, more applications. So one point is, and we did it since the first Formnext, to show success stories, solutions for challenges in the industry, like AM could be an enabler. Nobody wants to additive manufacturing because additive manufacturing is so beautiful. We want to have solutions for our challenges in the business, yes. So perhaps, especially in our VDMA community, where are more than 3,000 companies for mechanical engineering, it's not the main topic to speak about additive manufacturing, but about challenges in energy, energy consumption, in solutions for battery production, for special industrial
Minimizing carbon
challenges.
footprint is a big topic for
carbon
VDMA.
footprint, things like that. So not AM is the point, but to find a way to get these solutions. And that's how to bring together also the groups inside our federation, because there are 36 different groups for different industries, and they can profit each other. And on the other hand, surely to make these meetings, like on Formnext, but also meetings with the industries and their customers, to learn what are the main interests, the main developments, where should we focus on. And for example, for printing industry, you have rareness of parts. For industry with injection molding, you need tools which have higher performance and so on. And this bring together the people to see and to learn about the solutions, and then surely how to realize.
There's Formnext a really good point.
And this is a platform just for bringing together.
But Martin, before we dive into the applications, you wanted to add something to?
Yeah, I would like to add that my perception, and especially because before I started with additive manufacturing business, I was for 20 years in manufacturing industries and running automotive tier 1 production businesses and so on. I think that we never had a situation where we had so much change that needed to be digested and converted within industry as now. The level of uncertainty and volatility is unprecedented. And on the other hand, additive manufacturing stands for making change possible fast. So in theory, it's a perfect fit. But in reality, we see there is a slow adoption, even for those solutions that are available and proven to work. And my fear in that, and this is my passion why I'm in additive manufacturing, my fear is that if companies are not willing to change the way how they approach manufacturing or to question that and or to innovate, they might miss the opportunity window. And I would want to avoid a situation where a company then would collapse. It's a time where the faster ones are eating the slower ones. And those who are fast, that's the other side. For those, it's a great opportunity because they can gain market shares. And so it's both sides of the story, but it can be a great opportunity to cope with these challenges in a very systematic and very successful way by adopting it right.
Yeah, and to be successful, you installed a triangle solution, you called it, because there is more than one expert needed. And you brought some slides with you, and maybe you can explain it to us. What does it mean, your triangle?
Yeah, so we call it the triangle solution because other than in traditional manufacturing technologies, where we can base upon 100 years of norms and standards, and then based on that, we can work in customer-supplier relationships because both of the parties can rely on the habit and the norms and the standards. This doesn't exist in additive manufacturing. So what we figure out, because we are many times asked by the industry or by machine makers, what we figure out is that it really needs a synchronized, collaborative, synchronized way of adopting the application's needs.
Is it a kind of standardized method you're using here?
Yes.
For each customer, the same steps?
More or less the same method, exactly. When we look back, the success criteria for those applications where additive manufacturing became the standard process, like in aligners for dental industry, in hearing aids, and in many other applications, it's always the result of this synchronization of what does the application need, what material properties do we need for that, and what kind of process do we need to put in place in order to fulfill the application's requirements. And so there is no standards. So we need to work together to figure it out. And when you buy a new factory, you always have an integrator. But this integrator role does not exist in additive manufacturing because we are so dynamic in our technology development that no one can know this all. So, but by putting our knowledge together and adding it, we can make this happen. And as a result of such a synchronization, we can derive a scalable and reliable solution because it's well defined.
But which partners do you see in you have one side application, then material, and then process. Who is who?
So, speaking of the application, that's you, that's the customers.
Yeah, maybe we start with another one. You brought the Canyon application.
Yeah.
And then we come to Jan.
Yeah, and this is a wonderful example. In this case, Canyon, as a final customer, approached us with a problem. They needed, for a racing bike that needed to go through the harshest conditions of cobblestone race tracks, they needed to have a new computer mount, vibration control, so that even on harsh roads you can read the digits, withstanding the G-forces, being weather resistant, and mainly lightweight. It's 17 grams. So they came to us with that and an urge. We thought about what material would be suited, and we started simulation work. We made a model analysis of this part and simulated virtually what the best design would look like. Then over different steps, we adapted it to the look and feel that Canyon wants to have for its race bike, still having that same functionality. And we're starting to work with them, providing who is the best process manager.
So what's
around
the
that.
logo in the lower right?
In this case, our Canyon came in as the final customer. We provided simulation and design. We made the contact to a fantastic service provider called RPM, Rapid Part Manufacturing, who are capable to process in perfect quality and automotive quality levels and speed those ramp-up processes and also manage packaging and design. And with those together,
and they have been at the table from the first beginning?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We have been put on the table, all of us, the three parties, and we have been working iteratively. Just imagine, within 6 weeks, we did 9 design experiments, because it's not only the design for the part functionality, it's also designed for production capability. So with experimentation, we had 9 loops of design within only 6 weeks to come up with the first lot of production of finished parts. So we could ramp up this series of parts from design until the first finished goods within only 6 weeks. And then some testing, and then it was done. And the good thing was here, the guy who wrote this race bike, Mike Vandepoel, same name, he won the race. So based on not only, well, we must admit, not only because he had the best computer mount and the best readability of his data, but also maybe he has the strongest legs.
Yeah,
but he won the race, and this was a success.
Yeah, but I let you wait so long here on stage.
It's all right.
But we're coming to your application. Jan, you are from a sector of traditional craftsmanship.
That's
we talked before this panel, and you told me that you really are working with your hands for the safety and the functionality of your patients who need your souls. Just before you start with with your process. Give us some insight how you have done your work before. What is the traditional way in producing and in bringing your soles to your end customer?
First of all, I would like to start with a little introduction to our company because our case is a little bit different than Canyon.
Right.
Paul Hast insoles, we've been making orthopedic insoles since 40 years. In 2020, we started our development in 3D printing, and we invested roughly about $1 million in this technology. We are using the SLS process, and this required a fresh start with programs like Fusion 360. And right now we are having an insole library containing over 1,200 of orthopedic insoles individually for each patient for individual foot problems. And then the next point was we wanted to scale and we searched for a partner. And then the journey started with RPM. Dr. Jörg Gerken started, the journey started with RPM that Dr. Jörg Gerken actually bought one of our insoles. And he was so convinced of our product that he came in touch with our CEO. And after that, he also introduced us to BASF, and now we have this triangle solution. And in my opinion, we really have a winning combination here because we are combining all of the knowledge in the orthopedic industry, in the 3D printing industry, and also from materials. So we're combining all of the best to create a unique product, which is actually helping people with individual foot problems, actually also if you have back problems or knee problems. So I brought some products with me. Maybe I should show them now or later.
Yeah, you can show them. Hold them still so that the camera can capture them.
This one is for sports because we have more products for each. We have one for sports, we have one for sneakers, one for running, and each one has its own purpose. So,
but to give a better understanding to our audience, I would like you to give us a short introduction how you produce the soles before you using additive manufacturing, and then I think the idea will clear what's the advantage was.
Yes. Before additive manufacturing, we actually used injection molding, and by that it was not possible to adjust the insole in the end because the rework in the end has always to be done by specialists. So this actually is not a serious production.
Mass production?
Mass production, because the customization in the end has to be done because we want to help people who have problems with their feet or something. So it has to be individually customized for each patient. Every insole we are selling is different in the end.
And now the change with using additive manufacturing, how do you do it now?
Right now we are using AAM for additive manufacturing via RPM. And this one, it's now a more flexible solution for us, less expensive as well. And also we are able to have higher quantities. So
maybe starting with the patient, when I come to you as a patient, and what do you do? Are you doing a scan of my foot, or how does it work?
Actually, we are diving into online selling right now, so you can just go to our website, tell us your foot size and what kind of problems you have. After that, you get a foam. You have to do your footprints, send it to us. After that, our technicians will craft these insoles for you individually for your problems. That's the process.
And can you repeat how important it was to work together with in the triangle we are seeing here, and who of your team was involved in talking to RPM and BASF, and how did it went? And you mentioned earlier 6 weeks of process till the product was ready. How long?
9 iterations in that case.
9 iterations, and how long took it in your project to get the product?
I think we started to work with RPM in September, so 3 months by now. That's the whole journey. So we just
this September you started, and now you are presenting the
yeah. It's this product is already marketable, functional, and we also had already thousands of patients and only received positive feedback so far. So this is fully marketable.
So what I learned in our discussion earlier, that you have a kind of entering in a hockey stick as you doing your business now, right? Or
Yeah.
Okay. So that is, I think, a very impressive example of a business model. We have Florian here. Florian, again, sorry for letting you wait so long here on stage, but
okay.
now you can introduce your project. What have you done to install additive manufacturing process?
Tembo is a global company, and we have various machines that we make as an OEM for our customers that bring to market single-use consumer products. Now, I work as an R&D engineer at the headquarters in Kampen at TDC, and there we work on two types of machines. Machines that will make, cut, and package paper straws, and machines that will combine various detergents into laundry products or detergent markers for the dishwasher in these water-soluble pots. Now, so we make these machines. They are 12 meters-ish long. They have quite a lot of parts there. And as an R&D engineer, I would be then responsible for a part of that process. Now, initially, we started the parts specifically. We made them out of a silicon, and this was easy to cast, and this worked great. However, our customers continuously bring, especially in the detergent machines, new designs that they want us to make, new different kind of packages that they want to have, and those shapes get more complex. And this product, which is a manifold type of function, which needs to redirect the flow of powder detergents and liquid detergents and gel detergents, possibly into different positions, combined streams. This needs to do this repeatably for a really long period of time, needs to do this accurately, and also needs to do this on multiple positions in that machine. We have over 100 of these similar parts in one machine, and then a customer of ours comes and they want a new machine for a new product, and then we have to do another design, and we again have to go through the process of production. Mm-hmm. Now, initially we were casting that, but as the products got more complex, we could no longer actually cast them. Like, we got to such complex shape functionally that you try to re-engineer it, but it didn't work out. So then we made a transition into AM, which was bar none the only actual solution that could offer functionality in that scenario. Now, we initially made them out of silicon because these parts, they are in a dynamic environment, so they continuously make and like loosen contact. So initially we also set out on a journey together with RPM to make all the parts out of flexible materials. We have tried a variety of them, and we thought we initially had succeeded, but these detergents, they can be quite aggressive. And turns out that we had to go through various materials until finally settling on actually a hard material, PP, that was able to handle all these detergents, all the different detergents from all our different customers in an appropriate way. And that was a whole journey to come from something that was made for silicon casting towards something that was now a hard part that also still had to do that contact, and had to meet these tight tolerances not once, but for 100 components in that machine. And then with a different design, do that again for another machine. So that has been a real journey, but the back and forth with RPM really allowed us to get to a design and a functional part in a realistic timeline, whereas making molds iteratively would have never worked. And also, from my understanding, the material selection process and getting everything right in order to get to these quality parts at the end was also a big collaboration with the material suppliers there. So that really rounds, I think, that triangle.
But how was the first contact? Who came to whom and offered the first idea of getting a solution?
Yeah, so as an engineer responsible for a process and with a failing part, I was a desperate client, I would say, for RPM. But that quickly
So
grows.
you gave him a phone call and said, I have a problem and let's...
No, I told purchasing find someone. And then they found someone and then we got in contact. So the first call was probably from sales. But you quickly learn that you actually need this collaboration there. So this middleman that is sales, eventually they need to do spares management in our company. They need to have involvement at the end of that cycle again. But to have them as a middleman, it just doesn't work for that rapid iterative cycle that we were in. So you really, at that moment, I had a direct line, I would say, with RPM, and we were designing, producing, getting them, and doing this on a week's basis for, I would say, 2, maybe even 3 months.
And what is the right time when Martin with BASF solution capability came into the play?
Yeah, I think that was partly was with material selection. I think talking about what is the chemical composition of these materials, how can that actually resist all these detergents? What do you come up with? And then to actually master the production process, to have this volume production of several hundred parts and have all of them be the same, is also by and large a question about the quality of your material and modeling that in that process. So that's really where BASF stepped in, also partnering with RPM.
Mm-hmm. Rainer, when you hear that collaboration, what would you say? How to enhance it? How to make it fast forward in your AM community at VDMA or other companies who might be find a solution here?
Yeah, it's great to hear a story like this. To be honest, I didn't know it before. I heard about our panel discussion here, and it's focused surely on a consumer product like this, and you have adapted the process with this triangle, the material, the process, and the application. But I think the message is when we are here at Formnext and we see the different machine suppliers, the different technologies, the partners integrated in the process chain, it's really a point. Surely you have to find a solution for this product, but then you can transfer knowledge. You have to transfer knowledge to the industry and to profit on it. And when we spoke about standardization and quality, I think you want to integrate it in a traditional production, traditional production line also too. So you have to work together and have a collaboration with the mechanical engineering industry, because there are standards for interfaces. There are experiences on how to manage the quality. Even I think in the industry there are standards for the quality. And now you produce with additive, but the consumer and even those who are responsible for the production, they don't ask, is it additive or traditional? They want to have their quality and they want to have their standard for the daily production. And it's great to work together. We have surely the possibility in our federation, because we have these different industries, and now we can profit from what they've done, and we can harmonize what is developed in AM with those solutions in traditional tooling machines or whatever.
Yeah, the word traditional is for me a buzzword. To asking Jan, when you made the step from traditional to that new methods, you surely had to have some change management in your company, and now you have a fast-growing business as well. That's another change management aspect. So how do you manage that at home?
Yeah, for a craftsman, it was a really big challenge to revolutionize this traditional craftsmanship with industrial manufacturing in 3D printing, and also time and financial challenge to acquire all that knowledge and implement it in the 3D print. There was also, like I already told you, you need to invest time in learning new programs like Fusion 360, and all of that sums up in it was really a challenge for craftsmen to.
How do you manage it?
Yeah.
Are you doing educational programs, or are you trying to get new employees?
Me as a marketing manager, I didn't do any of these things. It was our product development.
Yeah.
Right now I'm speaking as a marketing manager, but our product development did it all on their own because in the orthopedic industry there are no designers. Only the knowledge is available. And in that case, we managed to combine this knowledge and implement it in our designs. And in the end, our result is awesome because we can proudly say that we are the pioneer of our technology and nobody is doing it like us. So
But the challenge keeps on running.
keeps on running. For the orthopedic industry, there are no possibilities.
Yeah, Martin, you wanted to add something?
And in times where we have less and less available labor,
Yeah.
you could transfer a craftsman business into a digital, scalable business, which is a very big step, but a good step into the right direction.
That's true.
So you make this business future-proof as well.
Yes.
Martin, on your first slide you showed, there was the word customer value in the middle
Yes.
of your triangle. I know there's not so many places on such a slide, and nobody would read it if you would write it down. But what do you understand when you're talking about customer value, and how do you measure it? And which aspects do you really mean, or in the background mean, when you're talking about customer value? What does it make?
So now, this is a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Let
All
me
about
start-
customer value.
Let me start with the first one. No customer wants to buy material, and no customer wants to buy a machine. They want to have a problem solved. And materials and machines are just a way to do that. And our job is to make it easy and working and repeatable. So, and these are the challenges of the additive manufacturing world today. The easiness, the output, quality, and repeatability in combination with scalability of that. Why is that? Because it's, first of all, it's relatively new and it's very versatile. There is no other broader thing like the manufacturing industry, right? So we cannot cope with all of that, but application by application, we can develop solutions. And then when we think of additive manufacturing, how many use cases have we seen already? How many examples have we seen already? And why don't they scale? And the answer is that many times they have been created on a level of a minimum viable product. It worked one time, but it was maybe depending on one skilled person. That one geek who was innovative, who was skilled, he was determined to deliver. This is nothing you can scale. When we think of an automotive production, you also have always these corners where you have great innovative people to solve real problems. But then when it comes on the next level, on the planning level of such processes, why don't they become a standard? And every time we have a jig or a form or a mold that comes up into the play, we produce it in additive manufacturing. Because maybe it's not yet easy to copy, because it needs a specialist, and we cannot clone specialists. So the conversion of a one-time successful solution into a scalable, reliable solution, this is the customer value at the end. And this is what we need to deliver together.
So now I understand why you didn't write it down in your triangle. It's really a lot of text, but you cannot measure it, right? Is there a way if you have a lot of customers like these?
You can measure.
Okay, how do you do it?
You can measure. Look at that. You can measure with having this digital solution now, how much more customers can you attract? Because you're independent on your regional footprint.
So it's a measurement which has to be done by your customer, or which you are doing.
We can do that together. It's also it depends on the application. You can measure the gain of time, time to market.
Yeah,
is essential. You can measure cost per part. For example, many times with additive manufacturing, one of the promises is part integration. You save manufacturing and assembly processes because you can do several things into one part. This you can easily measure.
Okay.
But this is relatively, so it's dependent on the application, and the business impact can vary. The big point here is that we need to understand that additive manufacturing has business impact on a case by case, but the real impact is coming when we systematically employ it, because then our business model and our strategy and our business development can change, as you see. With this digitalization, you have a different business model and a different strategy.
That's true.
Florian, how do you measure your value out of this project?
Well, it wouldn't have worked otherwise, would it?
Okay, that's
So that's a lot of, like, a function critical part in a several million euro machine is you could argue a 7 million euro value. But yeah, it's difficult to then really put a number to those things, and we continuously struggle. I think also with that as engineers, right? Because that's also a point towards the standardization, I think, that comes in, a bit about the education and what you meant with these unique specialists, right? As an engineer working on a project, you really need to, you make that trade-off, right? You can, maybe you know something, how to execute it in one way, but there's this new technology that you know and that you really like and you want to implement it. But then there's maybe more risk involved into doing that, because that's also novel. And then if you're in maybe aerospace, or if you're in automotive, maybe you have a lot of systems in place that are gated processes that will guarantee that the final product that you deliver actually has a lot of, meets the quality standards, so to say. But if you're in a more fast-paced market with a bit shorter time to get a product out, how do you then value the risk that is maybe attached to that versus the potential gain that it is going to deliver you? And that's a huge challenge. And of course you can measure it, but that's maybe after it had come out.
Yeah.
And asking an engineer to make a business case is always a challenge. So it really goes also towards that
running out of
intuition as an engineer, and that's maybe a bit of the experts, and that's where standardization really should play a big role in education.
too. Yes. We're running a bit out of time. I want to know two things from you both, from our application experts here. What is the next application in AM you have in mind you want to achieve?
I would just want to save weight on all the parts in our machine and have them metal printed.
Okay, lightweight.
They are huge plates. It could be a lot lighter, save so much energy. Yeah.
And you have already contacts done?
Well, it's a cost-risk assessment at the moment. So
you have left 1 day of Formnext, so you may walk around and have some talks tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure.
To gain your goal.
Yeah.
Did you have come with an idea of implementing another 3D application in your facilities?
Besides the AM, probably there would be some 3D scan or something. That's why we're also searching here for some technologies, because, as I already mentioned, there's no standardization possible for our product, because the rework always has to do by hand by our specialists. But in the future, we are really looking forward for some software solution that we can actually scale and do the standard this mass customization by software solutions. But in particular in AM, I don't have anything in mind, but if there are some questions, our product developer is also here, so maybe that would be a question to him.
I didn't see them, but I heard there are some scanner companies here,
Yeah.
so it makes sense to have some discussions here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are at an end nearly of the third day of Formnext. It's incredible. We are at an end surely with our panel discussion. It was really, really good to have you here. Martin Back from BASF 3D Printing Solutions, Jan Lührs, Marketing Manager of Paul Hast in Souls, and Rainer Gebhardt, AM Project Manager, VDMA, and Florian Vandepoel, R&D Engineer of Tembo, TDC. It was really good to have you, and I wish you a very successful exhibition, rest of today, and a very nice day tomorrow. Make the time worse, that you get something out of it. Thank you very much, and a short applause for our guests here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was our panel discussion on business solutions here in our live stream and at the booth here in this industry stage in Hall 11D72. Make sure that you come back some minutes later when we have our after-work talk here at our booth.